Well, hey, everyone. This is TUNAP, and I have with me the amazing, wait, Dr. Michael Gross. We have having some tech things going on. I don't know, is this a hair thing going on? Oh, there, that's better, Michael.
All right, here I am. I'm Dr. Michael Gross, and that is Tune App. And she is the author of,
Oh, no,
like that
no, no.
part, Healing the Holes in Your Soul. What a marvelous story. What a beautiful story for anyone to read and to be inspired and motivated. She's incredible. She's better than the incredible edible egg, if you ever remember that advertisement. And her book
You
is
couldn't.
phenomenal. It keeps you on your edge and go, what words of wisdom she has really shared. And she really has. She has my utmost respect for everything she's gone through and what she's accomplished. And I'm not even charging her extra money for this testimony because it's a great book. Although maybe she'll
Um,
take me out to dinner at McDonald's or Burger King. I don't know.
I'm thinking maybe. I'm thinking maybe, but before we talk about a dinner thing,
Yep.
I want to let you know that Dr. Michael Gross is the author of the Spiritual Primer. Best doggone book I've ever read. I tell you, if it wasn't for this man, wait, this man, and this book, I know I wouldn't be doing this. And I certainly wouldn't be as happy as I am right now. So, on that note, I'm going to put my book down and we have a good time coming. We're really, really grateful that all of you decided to pop in today. It's Sunday, and we do this Facebook Live every Sunday to let everybody have an opportunity to listen to Dr. Michael Gross's incredible words of wisdom. And like I said, he is a phenomenal man. He has given me so many blessings in my life. I'm incredibly honored to be doing this with you because the world needs to hear your wisdom. They really need to see um, not only hear your wisdom, but the content of your character is impeccable. Everything you teach me, top notch, and it blows me away what I experience. So, on that note, before I get too carried away, because I could give him accolades all day long. Trust me, all day long. And I don't want him to get embarrassed because you know what happens when he gets embarrassed, right?
There's a red glow like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is Michael the Red-Faced Reindeer.
It happens. It happens, but you know what? He's incredibly humble. And on that note, we want to appreciate we appreciate your time. Everybody comes here on Sundays, and if you can't watch it at 2 o'clock on Sunday, that's okay. It's Family Day. We totally get it. We are up on Facebook, and on our Facebook pages, we're also up on YouTube. And those recordings stay on, so you can always watch them when you have time. Okay, so always family first. But when you get a minute, definitely jump on in and get a dose of Dr. Michael Gross, or maybe more than one. Okay. On
Well,
that
before you
note,
start, hold on. Before you start, we're looking for suggestions from everyone. So we're on at Sunday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. Would you like to see us on at 4 or 7 p.m. or in the morning or around lunchtime, unless you follow, maybe you'll invite us over for lunch. But we'd like your opinion when you'd like, or maybe one middle of the week night, 5, 6, 7 o'clock or something like that, Monday through Friday. So please share and give us your opinions. Thank you for letting me interrupt you, Tio. And now, here's Tio.
thank you so much. I don't know what our technical issues are. I hear feedback, but hopefully everything is okay at your end.
It
And
is.
yeah, okay. You know what? We aren't scripted except for this one teeny tiny piece of paper. Okay. And the reason being is because I can ad lib and I get off the beaten path. And with all due respect for everybody's time, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to formally introduce Dr. Michael Gross. He is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and an incredible teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their very own intuitive abilities. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the True Source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing the work that he does all comes from God, the True Source. He lives in Lakewood, Washington, and I am honored to be part of his nonprofit, which I'm going to let Michael introduce to you all because it's incredible what's coming down the pipeline. I'm thrilled to be part of it. So take it away, Michael.
Thank you. So Spirit advised me, twisted my arm, not really. Spirit came to me and said I was supposed to form a nonprofit. It took a little while to come up with the name, but it's the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. And really the reason Spirit wanted me to choose that name is we all came here to learn about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. How you learn it: addictions, multiple marriages, drugs, alcohol, addictions to food, maybe different jobs you have, or maybe something debilitating happened to you, whatever it is. And in that vein, that's why I decided to put it together. And then as I began to work, an honor to work with Tio, realizing that all the abuse she went through in her life, I encouraged her to write the book. She wrote the book and decided to take on what she talked about in her book, which I'll explain in a moment, and made her director of abuse. So actually what this is all about in her book is about women, children, and men who are abused, primarily her story. And I didn't realize to the extent they are abused, taken advantage of. And I realized what a monumental job this is. Because when I talk about that, if a spouse, an abused spouse, we'll say a woman, who has several children, and she wants to escape, but she's held prisoner because she's controlled by money and also her children, and she wanted to escape with her children, she'd have to have a hotel to stay at. She would have to have an apartment. She'd have to go through a healing and counseling and a re-education to get some kind of job. Or maybe she'll move in with her family and then we need airfare or whatever is necessary. So it's monumental, it's huge, but I have no doubt we will succeed. And that's a little segue. So as we're coming to the new year, you're looking for a tax deduction. We're a legal 501(c)(3). And if you wish to make a donation, it'd be wonderful. I'll write you a personal letter. And you just get a hold of Dr. Michael Gross. And Tio put the information, of course, in the chat room. But it's just food for thought, everyone. And it's so powerful. I believe I was reading, I'm not sure of the number, it's either 83 or 86% of the people, the humans on this planet, have low self-worth. Isn't that amazing? 83% to 86%. Can't believe it. But that's a horse of different colors, they say. And I want to talk to you about barriers. And so this is a trilogy. Got to get the words right. And I wanted to talk about more about barriers in our life. And I'll be talking about more and more things as time goes by. And when I talk about barriers or in our life, let me review. It's part of our learning and belief system, not necessarily our reality, although we can make it our reality. And that's so important for each one of us to know because, I've said this again and I'll say it over and over again. What you think you create, what you create you experience. Therefore, we are manifesting or creating our reality 24/7. But you never thought about it that way. But it is by your thoughts, by your feelings, by your emotions, how you walk, how you talk, how you feel about yourself. There knows a person walking like this, a person walking in the back, or trying to be shy, or hiding because they have low self-worth, maybe self-love. So these are the barriers to their success. And of course, where do the barriers come from? Well, let's talk about it. Some are learned, up to the age of 7, 8. by the way, your life is already cast. In other words, your behavior and everything you've learned up to 7, 8 from religiosity, from your family, friends, relatives, education, and so on, is now part of your life. And then you spend the rest of your life undoing it or changing or enhancing it or whatever it may be. Then you go into the teen years, which I discussed. So we're going to go up from the teen years into the 30s, and we're going to go all the way up until the 60s because we're going to do a number 4. We're going to do a fourth. And that's True Source has telling me to do that, which we will. So let's say from around the age of 28 or 30 to around the age of 58, 60. What is going on in our lives? Well, there's the old saying, cliche. The 40-40-40 syndrome. Work 40 hours a week for 40 years and retired 40% of your income, if you're lucky. And that's it. So the old days, you got a gold watch, or they gave you all kinds of praise or whatever. Today, we're job hunting because we're seeking more prosperity, more abundance. And also, with that prosperity and abundance, we can buy more toys, boats, or whatever. And that's part of what I wanted to talk to you about. So the barriers are not recognizing what a beautiful soul you are, and realizing not what a beautiful soul, because low self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, you tend to set them to the side, which is great. What do you do when you set them to the side? You find a band-aid. What is a band-aid? Well, could be a new house, new car, new boat, new toys, golfing, tennis, hiking, camping, whatever it may be. And then along the way, sometimes you get into other relationships when you're married. And that can be rather devastating for both parties. That's another barrier because you can't find happiness. So you're looking for happiness on the outside and forget that it's all in here. And the love you seek is all in here. That doesn't mean you shouldn't love your children because you should. You better. You procreated them and you shouldn't love their mother, whether you're married to them or not. You should love them because they agreed to be part of the program. And that program said, I'm going to manifest children. And that's part of what you agree to do. And I meet so many fathers and a few mothers who abdicate their ability to be able to look after the children. They regret paying money when they get divorced, yada, 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 yada. Yet you took the responsibility to cohabitate and to have beautiful children. And what are you teaching them? You're teaching them to run away or whatever. And of course, this cycle gets repeated over and over again. So when I talk about the barriers, if the family has had illnesses or divorce or spousal abuse or extramarital affairs, you can guarantee that it's been several generations that have done that. And now that you have chosen, oh my goodness, to incarnate into that family, you chose there to be the cycle breaker. Uh-oh, what does that mean? The cycle breaker means that you are not going to have behave that way. Or even if you had an affair, or even you had another marriage, or whatever you went through. At this time, you can stop that from occurring. And that's most important. Because in stopping it from occurring, you realized why you're here. If you don't realize that, you realize what you're going to learn. And once you do that, the cycle is broken. And there's an old saying that when whatever you do, break a cycle, it affects a minimum of 3 generations in the past and 3 generations in the future. And if you don't believe me, take a look at a lot of histories of abuse or divorce or whatever, and you can see it goes from family to family, generation to generation to generation. So, in these barriers that I'm talking about, is something that all of us are looking for. We're looking for recognition. We're looking for appreciation. We're looking for thank you. You helped change my life. Tio and I were talking about that, and she was so gracious to thank me for many things that she's learned and done. And I thank her for many things I've learned from her. You know, as she said, I'm a teacher and I'm a college professor. But my belief system is sometimes I'm the teacher and you're the student. Sometimes you're the teacher and I'm the student because I learned from you. And we all learn from each other. How do we learn? We engage in conversations. We mostly observe, and that's so important by observing. When I'm really blessed with, I notice everything when I'm having a conversation with a person. Not only their clothing, their smile, but how they behave, their expressions, their inflection in their voice. And that teaches me a lot and it shares a lot. And that will tell you whether they're sure, unsure, doubtful, insecure, they're pulling the wool over your eyes or whatever. And one of the things that I was sharing with Tio is the mask and how people put a mask on and tell you a story. And there's a way to see beyond the mask. So the old saying is not by your words, but by your actions shall you be known. And that's very, very important for us because these barriers that have now come into our lives from our youth, our when we're teenagers, young in college or education, and now we're much older, these barriers become a part of our life. We take ownership of them and they limit us. They limit us because of our lack of self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. Everything you do, think about that. I was talking to one person and they said, well, I have no experience in construction and I don't know how to do this and that. I said, really? Well, what'd you do? Well, he built a business, he built a bar, he built this and did all kinds of things. Hugely successful. Oh, what'd you do? Well, I researched it. So you had on the job training, you built it. What do you mean you can't build it? You don't have experience. Hello, look what you've done. And that's one of the things I'd like to talk to you. Take stock of everything you have accomplished up until the age of 58 or 60. Look at all the knowledge you have and look at the barriers you're put up by, well, I didn't do anything in my life, or I doubt it, or I'm worthy, or I can't do this. Take a look what you've overcome. Take a look what you put a barrier between you and success and realize that barrier was created by you. Well, we talk about reverse engineering, and I talk about it. And the way you create it, you uncreate it. You created it by doubt, fear, anxiety, insecurities, lack of self worth, self love, and self esteem. You uncreate it by realizing that I can do this, I can achieve anything. And I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't care how I do it. I'm going to figure it out. And on the job training, I'll learn it. And that's an amazing thing to do. Today, you can Google anything, you can YouTube anything and learn how to do anything that you so desire. Isn't that great? But how do we learn? Mostly by observing others. We observe what successes they have, we observe what challenges they have, and how they overcome these challenges. We talk about presidents of a corporation or chairman of the board, and they get big salaries, not all of them. I'm president and chairman of the International Institute of Self Empowerment. Well, I don't make a big salary. Come to think of it, I haven't drawn a penny from it. But I choose not to do that because I wanted to be very successful at other people. Getting back to what I was talking about, as a leader, as a president or CEO, you choose the right person to do the right job. There's a woman that is president of General Motors. Not because she's a woman, but I guarantee you she doesn't know how to build a car because she never built a car. Maybe she knows how to do some of the components. Now, I'm not picking on her as a woman, but I'm saying she has no car building experience. Maybe she has some engineering and design, and that'd be great. But she has this intuitive ability to hire the right people to accomplish whatever is necessary. That's what's important because she has no barrier and she's smart. You know why she's smart? Because I'm going to hire people in an area that know more than I do, and I will learn from them. That's a sign of a great leader and a smart, intelligent person because they can pick the right people, the right persons to do the right job. That is incredible. Think about that. This president, this woman, has removed the barrier and said, I don't have to know everything. I just have to have the right people in the areas that know everything, and then they can give me my feedback. They may not know it. They're my teacher. I'm going to learn. Yes, go ahead.
That's like, it's not, it doesn't matter what you know, it's who you know. You know, when you realize that you have something that you need in whatever business you're in, then you start researching, who do I know that has the skills in what I need? And then it becomes just bringing all these components, all these people together to reach your goal. And you do it collectively with the skills of others.
Exactly. But the barrier for most people is their ego. They have to do everything themselves. And I will admit one time I was that way, and then I realized, no, it's too time consuming. There are people that know much more than I do, and I can learn from them. And everybody has chosen whatever they so desire to do. You know, a farmer chooses to have a farm and grow food, and he gets a kick out of it. And getting up in the morning and watch the seeds grow and germinate and see the product of his hard work. Or if you raise cows and you have a milk farm, you can see the fruits of your effort. Everybody has something that turns them on, that gives them joy. And what you are doing as a CEO or president, you are giving latitude to others to be successful because you remove the barriers of your ego. And there's when I was growing up, my father said, son, the harder you work, the more successful you are. Okay, Dad. So I worked very hard. Yes, I was successful. Then we learned, no, you don't work harder, you work smarter. Ah, that's a brand new concept, isn't it? So I removed that barrier and worked smarter and was able to produce as much in volume or whatever I just so desired to do and do it well. I'll share a little story. So all my friends, and I had a little experience with plumbing, electrical, because one of my neighbors was a steam fitter, and that's a plumber with more expertise, in my opinion, and he taught me a lot of things. So I'd go over to my friend's house, run some electrical, and do some plumbing or whatever. And my wife go, "What are you wasting your time? What are you wasting your time?" And I go, "Well, they're my friends. I want to help them." But I was working smarter. And I said one day, my house needs a painting. 5 guys came over. We gave it 3 coats in a day and a half. Got the whole house done. And I said, this is payback because I was graciously helping because I wanted to help him. I didn't know the house needed a painting at that time, because it was several years later. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of sharing your time, sharing your love, and removing that barrier of having some expectation. I did this, so you owe me. No, no. I knew someday that if I needed help, I'd be there. And they knew if they needed help, I'd be there. It was a beautiful thing between the two of us, or amongst, because it was more than two in between us two. So correct vernacular is amongst all of us. And that was so important. And we came together. And I have very dear friends now that we have pledged to take care of one another and their spouses should anything ever occur. And something has occurred, and we're there to be there because we love them. We love them so much that we want to support their family. And we do it out of love. There's no barrier between us. There's only compassion and love. What a beautiful, special thing for us to do. But that applies to you as well, you see, because whatever you do in life, law of right action and correct exchange. What comes around goes around, right? And we forget that. And one of the barriers in life is we want to be worshiped. And I say worshiped is, well, he has a Rolls Royce, or he has, or she does have this or that. Oh my God, my friend, because they're so rich. You know what? That's not friendship. The barrier is that you feel so inadequate that you want to hang around with a rich person. So there's an old cliche, you are what your 5 best friends are. Well, maybe that's true. My 5 best friends, some are wealthy, some are not. Does that mean I'm half wealthy and half poor? No. It means I've got some beautiful friends who gives a toot what their net worth is. And they're both male and female, which honors me. And that's one of the barriers we have in life. Stop looking to impress everybody. Stop looking to hang out and impress with people. In my counseling, what I have learned, I'll share. The super wealthy are so worried about losing their wealth, they concentrate on creating more. Where those who are comfortable are having life and enjoying life. And then there's the barrier of keeping up with the Joneses because you want to be respected. Well, friendship doesn't come from money. Friendship doesn't come that way. It comes from honoring each other, from appreciating each other. And that's a barrier we need to remove. The barrier is take time to take a look at your friends, take time to be with them, and don't put up the barrier that they're beneath you or they're not interested in you because you're not in this social class. Really, don't ever do that. I have friends that socially you'd say, oh my gosh, he's just, you know, he's just a painter or he just works on the lawn. Yeah, he's got 5 cars, paid cash for his house. He's got more money than the next 3 people together. You never know it. I never knew that either. I liked him. So we have a friendship and we're friends. I later learned about his prosperity. But that's not why I was with him. So I removed the barrier of a class action. And removing the barrier of class action, he is a minority, which means he's not a Caucasian. Who cares? How does he treat me and how do I treat him? That is what's so important. I know I'm rambling on here and I'm looking at the clock and we have a few minutes left. But everyone, I just want you to understand something. And that is whatever you've learned that is not positive in your life, whatever the path you're taking, is not creating love and joy, but creating fear. That's important. So you work hard, you accumulate a lot of money, which is for nothing wrong with it. But are you doing it for recognition? You're doing it for fear? Or are you doing it because you enjoy it? You know, if you enjoy something you do, the money will come. But if you're doing it for the money, your income will be up and down. And that's something to realize. I have been in marketing and sales on commission. Never knew what I was going to make. But I had a ball. I made a lot of friends. And the money flowed. Not because that was my purpose for doing it, but I love the people I work with. I love the people that I helped overcome a lot of the challenges in their life. And you who are listening to me are an entrepreneur. You never know where it's going to come from. But you know what? The law says right action and correct exchange. You're helping someone out of love, then everything will be supplied to you. Because that's the way God, the true source, works. As you do that work, which is loving work of the true source, everything will be supplied to you. Don't figure out how it comes, because you'll never figure it out. It just happens. So in that vein, there's going to be a part 4, and we're going to talk about from 60 up until your birth out of your body. To you, do you have anything you'd like to add? Because you're a valuable contributor.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head on a few different points. You know, you mentioned something that my mother told me too. Treat people like you want to be treated. You know, leave the world a little bit better than it was when you got here. And that happens because we are loving and caring. It doesn't happen by how much money we have or what fancy car we have or don't have. What matters is who we are on the inside and not being afraid to show the rest of the world who we really are. You know, I fell into a lot of areas where I got prejudged, and I did things, and you know, I write about some of it because I was looking, you know, for love, all in the wrong places. And what I didn't realize until you taught me is all I need to do is learn how to love myself. And when you do that, you start listening to the voice in here, the one that's always been there. It's your soul. And when you start listening to your soul, you know, there were things that happened in my life, and the only reason I'm still here is because I listened to my soul. You know, get back up, get back up. No, don't go down that road. Go over here. Don't trust that one over here. there was so much guidance going on. I didn't even realize who I was listening to some of the time, but um, we need to pay attention to the voices that we hear inside. We really do, because that's our guiding, that's our guiding voice. And, don't look in the mirror and be harsh on yourself. Don't judge yourself like that. It doesn't matter what we have on the material world. What matters is who we are inside. And stop hiding behind the masks because you think that somebody expects this and that from you. Let them know who you really are. Because when they find out who you really are, that's the greatest gift you could give anyone. So, on that note, Michael, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for those kind words. And remember, part of my motto is, you don't know where you're going, you can't get lost. And I've talked to you before. And, when I looked at my resume and someone talked about what I did, I said, holy cow, did I do all those things? True story. Like, wow, I didn't know it. But you see, one led to another, led to another, led to another. And when it's all over and done with, what is your epitaph? How did you contribute? And what difference did you make in this world? And that note, we'll talk more about it from 60 on, because that's going to be very, very, very powerful. It's going to be more enlightening than you can ever imagine. And this is what the Spirit True Source is telling me. So on that note, let's talk about...
Michael has a Tuesday night call-in, and it's where Michael, why don't you explain it really quick so we can be mindful of time?
Sure. So every Tuesday night from 6:30 p.m. Pacific time to 7:30, sometimes we run over. You ask any questions about spirituality, and hopefully I can answer them. Great questions, because I learn from everybody. And then I deliver a 10-minute message. I think there's 211 and 212. And I would appreciate all of you to call in. I know the day will come when I can't handle every question, but we can backlog, and then I can answer them. And I would like all of you to make some suggestions. What would you like me to speak? What would you like me to talk about? What would you like me to share with you? Because there's so much that's going on in this planet right now. And the telephone number for that call on is?
The Tuesday number, it's at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that number is 202-926-1059. And the access code?
The access code is 125446 pound.
Okay, one more time on the number. And if you don't have a pen, don't worry. It's all going to be in the comments below as well. So one more time, that number is 202-926-1059. Michael?
And the access code is 125446 pound.
Oh, no, he's shaking his computer. You've been a little fussy all night, but that's okay. Okay. And the recordings, do you want to talk about the recordings, or should I just give a number?
There's 212 or 13 recordings. Starts with number 3. And when you're bored, stuck in traffic, or things are going on, listen to the recordings. They're very motivational. They will help you and guide you. And that number is?
It's 434-300-4170. It was like you caught me in the middle of a breath.
And the access code is 125446 pound.
I think I was still echoing off the last pound. Okay, one more time on that number. It's 434-300-4170, and the code?
The access code is 125446 pound.
And you want to go ahead and tell them what we do every second Saturday of the month?
Well, don't embarrass me, but every second Saturday of the month, we have what we call the mass consciousness. We have the mass consciousness call in. By the way, she was my twin sister in a past life, so we love to tease each other. Anyway, second Saturday of every month, we have the mass consciousness call in, and it's from 9:55 a.m. to 11:01 a.m. And I give a little introduction, and then we do a deep meditation in silence. And so if you tune in late, hopefully you won't, but if you do, that's all right. We'll be in silence, and then I come on at the end, and then I will give some words of encouragement. And the telephone number is, would you please give that one?
Sure, my brother Michael. It's 202-926-1059, and the access
code is 125446 pound. And that's the same number as my call, and you don't have to repeat it. Same number as Tuesday night. So everyone join us. We have fun. We like to tease each other, and she always told Mom, try to get me in trouble as usual. And you know how younger sisters are. Anyway, you got to love them. So everyone, I want to thank you. I thank you so much for listening to us. I thank you for spending the time to realize that you can make a difference in your life, not only in your life, but others that you touch. And remember, you are unlimited. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon. I'll take leftovers for dinner.
I'm calling Mom on you.